Welcome to Past Quest Stories. My name is Wade. I'm 26, the quiet fixer in a loud family. I run a workshop where I paint Christmas ornaments. My hands usually smell like lacquer, and I prefer it that way. I'm allergic to conflict, so for years, I've solved family emergencies with a calm voice and a credit card. That Saturday, everything snapped. I arrived at my grandparents' house in a taxi, my arms full of sample boxes. My grandpa opened the door, his face warm with surprise. "Buddy, why did you come by taxi? What happened to the BMW we gave you for your 21st birthday?" The BMW was his gift, a craftsman's reliable wheels. He'd handed me the key with a pride that felt warmer than any speech. Before I could answer, my mother stepped in, her smile a practiced, bright thing. "That car belongs to his sister now," she said, as if it were a punchline we'd all enjoy. The room went cold. My uncle stopped chewing. The old clock in the foyer got very loud. Grandpa went still. He looked at my mom, then at me, his gaze like a man reading labels on cans he didn't remember buying. "Belongs to who?" he asked, though he'd heard. "To Bree," Mom said. "You know how hard she works. Wade just paints little balls." I felt the truth, a trapped and scratching thing in my chest. But my voice came out thin and embarrassing. "Mom." Grandpa rubbed his jaw, the way he does when he's doing math. He patted my shoulder, gentle but firm. "Come in, son," he said, and led me to the table. He didn't argue. He didn't raise his voice. He folded his napkin and, in the same polite tone he uses with contractors who overbid, began. "When did the car start belonging to your sister?" It was the first question that unraveled my world. The truth was a slow creep I'd allowed. Bree, my charismatic sister, was the face of the family. I was the foundation. My business card was linked to a family marketing account for charges I never approved. The BMW became her prop for mirror selfies. My steady nature was a lever they pulled for mortgages, utilities, and gifted inventory. I was the family bank, and they were calling the withdrawals love. That night I called Grandpa. "I need advice," I said, my voice borrowed and tired. He already had a yellow legal pad waiting. "Tell me what you owe and what they owe you." I showed him the spreadsheet, a ledger of my silence. Line by line, mortgage transfers, unauthorized ed charges, gas for a car I didn't have. He listened, making a single tick for every $100, methodical as a metronome. When I finished, he looked at the page. "You've been subsidizing their lifestyle," he said. "They're calling it love to make it go down smooth." He named the poison. He called it theft without saying the word. "Here's what we do," he said. I changed every password. I unlinked every device. I drafted a PDF titled Record of Transfers, and sent one message to the family chat. "Here are receipts for everything I've paid. Total, $8,742.19. I will not fund your bills. Return the BMW by Friday 5 p.m., or I report unauthorized use. This is my boundary." The phone erupted. "Ungrateful. Shame. How dare you?" I didn't reply. Friday at 5:23 p.m., the car wasn't there. At 5:26, I reported it to my insurer and sent the PDF to the whole family. At 7:11 p.m., headlights swung into my lot. Bree stepped out, tossed the keys, and wouldn't meet my eyes. "The tank's low," she said. I needed it. I put my forehead on the cool roof of the car and shook. Relief, rage, grief, all braided together. My phone buzzed. One text from Grandpa, "Proud of you." The next morning, he showed up at my market booth, bought 6 ornaments he didn't need, and took the spare stool behind the table. He didn't mention my mom. He didn't have to. His presence was a shield. He later called a family meeting. Mom launched in fast. "Dad, Wade is blowing this up. He's punishing her." Grandpa held up a hand. He tapped my folder. "Wade has transferred just under $9,000 to your household. He lost the use of a vehicle I purchased for his work, He looked at Bree. That is theft by use, even if you didn't intend harm. Silence. He turned to me. What do you want, Wade? I didn't give a speech. I said 3 things. I want the charges stopped. I want repayment on a plan. And I want a boundary. My business is mine. Good. Then Grandpa slid a thin stack of documents to me. Years ago, he'd set aside a small trust for family needs. After watching how needs have been defined here, he said, I've reassigned it to you. It's enough for a proper lease. Mom's chair scraped loud. You can't reward his tantrum. You're encouraging selfishness. Grandpa's eyes were kind and unmovable. I'm encouraging work, he said. And boundaries. I looked at my mother, my finger pointing, her voice shaking about how much I owed them. You raised me to be useful, I said, my voice quiet and firm. I'm choosing to be respected. There was no dramatic ending. No group hug. I took the folder and went back to my workshop. I signed a lease on a corner unit with big windows. I hired a high school kid named Jess. We laugh a lot. Mom still sends probes. Family dinner. Bring ornaments. I reply can't. Shop hours. Sometimes, customers tell me their own boundary stories while I letter names. A nurse who stopped paying her brother's tickets. A son who reclaimed a pickup. They leave with ribbons and lighter shoulders. Boundaries look mean to people who benefit from you having none. They call your no a betrayal. They make being used sound like being loved. I used to fall for that. I don't anymore. Saying no didn't shrink my life. It made room. I sleep. I eat food on plates. I have quiet. What Grandpa did was more than paperwork. He didn't rescue me. He stood beside me while I rescued myself. He looked at me like I was already a man doing a hard, ordinary thing. And that look made the ground under my feet feel real again. I'm Wade. I make small, breakable things that somehow last. I will help when I can, gladly, freely, with both hands. But I won't be anyone's bank. That's the line. It's not moving. And I finally love the man I am on this side of it.